Hello, I topped another event with MathMech. This time with some new cards from Darkwing Blast. For a normal regional, topping would be top 8, but for the UK Open it was top 16 with 400 players. And I got 9th on 7 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw. The camera quality is still bad, and with no further ado, enjoy. We have 3 MathMech Circular, 3 Power Exceed, this card is very good, it's another starter card, 3 Silent Mining, and 3 Small World. So these are, of course, our main 12 starter cards. And then for the new cards, we have 3 Fenrir. This card, I think, is very good in MathMech because it pairs really well with Small World and Silent Mining, because it gives you a free thing to discard for both of those cards. And then we have some Bestials, 2 Nut, and 1 Druid Worm. I don't play a very large engine of these though, because they conflict a little bit with Fenrir, because if you go second with both a Bestial and a Fenrir, then if you Bestial on their turn, then you cannot summon Fenrir on your turn, because your field will not be empty. But I still think these are really good, and they pair very nicely with Heat Soul, because drawing these cards off Heat Soul is very nice. And then for the other MathMechs, we have 2 Sigma, 2 Subtraction. I only played Subtraction as the extender. I went with 2 Subtraction because the card is better than Addition. I should have played 1 Subtraction, 1 Addition. There were some games where not having Addition came up, and I had to search for Equation of Alan Bershon, which doesn't feel too great, since normally you want to be searching Equation of Circular. And then we have 2 Diameter. 3 I think is not that great when you aren't playing many names, which I'm only playing very minimal names in this build to make room for Fenrir and the Bestials. So I feel like 3 Diameter would brick a little bit too hard in a build with not many names. Then we have the Meowsclick, this is our searchable out to Mystic Mine. We have Factorial and Equation. Wait. No. Then I play 1 Factorial, 1 Equation for our MathMech Spell and Traps. So I explained last time that I don't like playing more than 2 MathMech Spell and Traps, because they aren't too great to draw, especially in a build like this one, where we don't have many MathMech monsters, so that makes these cards even more bricky. And we want to of course minimise on cards which are not too great to draw. And for hand traps we have Triple Imperm. It can be a bit awkward drawing this off Heat Soul in their turn, but even so this card's really good in a hand trap deck, so I think it's definitely worth it, because it pairs really well with any other hand trap, and by itself it's very good, because Bright will tend to prioritise going for red over carrot. And then 3 Veiler, 2 Nibiru. So I don't play 3 because you draw so much with this deck. Normally when you see Nibiru, it will be Nibiru plus a second hand trap, which is what you want really, because Nibiru is a very good hand trap when paired with any other hand trap, but by itself it isn't really too great. And then on to the weird part, we play 1 Ash, 1 Bell, 1 Ogre, and 1 Retaliating Sea. So these are pretty much all one-offs because of Small World. So the idea with Retaliating Sea and Ghost Ogre is that they let you bridge the Fenrir into Circular, because you go Fenrir into this, which is only Earth in common, and then into Circular, which is only level 4 in common. Or you go into Ghost Ogre, which is only Psychic in common, and then into Circular, which is only Light in common. And Bell comes up because it lets you bridge Effect Veiler into Meowsclick to out Mystic Mine, or to deal with Runic Fountain. And then Ash comes up because it lets you bridge Veiler into Subtraction. For YCS Utrecht, you saw that I played 3 Droll, but this time I'm playing 0. I still like the card, and I want to try it more in this meta, but it does conflict with Magnamuds. And then for the last card in the deck, that was 15 hand traps by the way, I play one Kubai. I think this card is actually a lot better now than it was last format because of Totally Awesome being a more popular card now. And then onto the extra deck. This is the same extra deck I've been playing for like the last 3 weeks, which is 2 Alan-Bertian, 1 Laplacian. We don't play 2 of this because I only play 1 Factorial. And then we have 1 Lingaribo, 1 Almirage. These are for Power Exceed. You turn normally your Math Mechs into this and then do Parallel. And you can turn your hand traps into this and then do Parallel. And then 1 Link Spider, so that even when you get nibbed, you can still end on Heat Soul. Then I play 2 Splash Mage. So this comes up because when you get hand trapped, a lot of the time you make Splash Mage to go into Heat Soul, so then you want another one in the extra deck to go for OTK pushes later in the duel. So that's why 2 comes up. Then we have Wicked and Heat Soul for our normal turn 1 combo. And then for the big damage, we have Jammer, Transcode, and Access Codes. And then for when we have Circular plus Parallel, we go for Heat Soul plus IP, and then we go IP into Avramax, which was pretty good. I do also want to try and experiment with Bomber Dragon, because Bomber plus Factorial sounds pretty good. And even the Bestials work really good as well with Bomber. So it is something that I do want to try out at some point. And maybe I would cut 1 Splash Mage to try that probably. And then onto the side deck we have 1 Skullmeister. We search this with Alan-Bertian in the Tialeman matchup. And then 1 Firecracker. This card has been in my side deck for like 3 weeks, and I've only used it for the first time at the UK Open in round 8. And then I have 1 Lancia in the side deck. So the idea with this is that against Flu, you side out Nibiru, so you want another Light Bridge to turn Veiler into Circular. And Lancia in general is also pretty good against Flu, because if you Lancia them, their end board is typically quite mediocre, or if they are relying on resolving Prosperity or Map, then sometimes they can't even play at all. So Lancia is, I think, very good against Flu. And sometimes if you go first, and you have Lancia in the deck, at the end of your combo you might go Small World and search this, because it's pretty good to ensure that they cannot really clear your board. And then you can, of course, OTK them on the following turn. Then I have 1 Eccentric. So I played Eccentric because I had a 15th slot in the side deck, and I wanted a card that I could search with Small World to deal with the Floodgate Rogue decks. It never came up though because I only faced meta decks. I only faced Tialement, Sprite, and 1 Philanderies. And then I have 3 Cosmic Cyclone, 3 Evenly Matched, for going second against Tialement and Backrow decks. And then for going first, I have 3 Rivalry, 1 DDG, and 1 Pointer. So a little bit different from my ratios from Utrecht, because I'm now playing 3 and 1 instead of 2 and 2. Which I wasn't too sure on doing, but the reason was that against Sprite going first, because of my side patterns, I wanted to be putting in about 4 cards going first. So if I were to do 1 Pointer, 2 DDG, 2 Rivalry, then I could only really put in 3 going first against Sprite. So pretty much it's just because my side patterns were a bit different here. There we go, that is my 9th place UK Open deck profile. I went 7-1-1, losing once to Sprite in time and drawing to Tialement in time. Thank you for watching. Shout out to my friend Billy for lending me Fenrir, because mine did not arrive in time because of the postal strike. Shout out to Fleet for lending me Bestials, and shout out to Owen for doing like 2 games of testing with me before we played Putt Party on Discord for almost 2 hours. Also shout out to Alex, who did a very good job with commentary and to Gabriel, who won the event on 9-0, which is very impressive. And thank you to Connor for driving us all the way to Sheffield. Thank you all for watching, have a perfectly balanced rest of your day, and adios.